that where your and Virat's relationship really started, right? 2014. And did it sort of help that your personalities were quite similar? Did that sync help all along?
Yes, absolutely. Because, I mean, in the way of thinking, I think we are both pretty aggressive. You know, we wanted to play to win. We realized very quickly that to win you need to take 20 wickets. So you got to start picking and identifying players who will help you do that. It might take time. By deciding to play aggressive and fearless cricket, it meant at times you would lose games. But once you got one across the line, then it's infectious. In fact, even during that England tour, you know, I used to do a lot of shows in England. You know, I used to do The Verdict with Bob Willis and Charles Caldwell. And so I got a chance to see him closely. And I was seeing the way he was getting out. And but I knew deep down that that's the uncut diamond. You know, he's the guy I'm going to go after. Moment MS finishes, he's the guy to lead the side. And lead from the front where his personality should take over. And I must say the staff that I had with me from day one was magnificent. I mean, Bharat Arun stayed with me right through. There was R. Sridhar who was there right through. Sanjay Bangar was there for a little while. And then Vikram came in. So I think their contribution was immense.
We'll come to that in detail as well, Shaz, because you mentioned you knew that when MS is done, did you have any inkling on that tour to South Africa that it could be around the corner? MS hanging his boots, maybe from the test format. And do you reckon the way Virat played as a stand-in captain in Adelaide was also the sort of vindication that MS was waiting for, that the next leader in line is ready to take on?
Well, he knew who was the next leader in the line. There was no question about it. He was just waiting for the opportune time to make that announcement, because he knew how much his body could take. He wanted to prolong his white ball career. And he realized that if he had to play all three formats plus captain the side, that wasn't going to happen. You know, when his body tells him that's enough, it's enough. You know, there's no second thoughts with MS. It came as a huge surprise in Melbourne when he said, I'm finishing with Test cricket. In fact, he just casually walked up to me and said, Ravi bhai, I need to speak to the boys. I said, sure. So I thought he was going to say something. We had drawn a great game. You know, to bat last day at the G and draw that match was, you know, tremendous stuff. And he comes out, bolt out of the blue, I'm done with Test cricket. And I just saw the faces around the dressing room as I glanced around. They were in a state of shock, most of them. But that's MS for you.
Just to sum up sort of the red ball heights that we reached, I mean, there were lots and lots of great moments that came along. Rohit Sharma, establishing him as an opener, how satisfying was that?
Oh, it was very clear in my mind I wanted to do it. I thought if I can't get the best out of him, you know, as a batsman, then I'm a failure as a coach. Because there's too much talent there. It was just sitting in my head, have to ask him to open, have to ask him to open. In fact, I told him way back in 2014 or 15, start opening for Bombay. You know, and because I know it's just self-belief that opening is a very, very tricky position, especially if you have not opened. And I speak from experience. When you come from the middle order and it's all in the mind. It's how strong you are mentally. So once he realized the role of an opener, the role of playing the new ball, which could mean as much of leaving the ball and defending the good balls, as opposed to even playing your shots. Once he understood strike the right balance, it was fantastic. Batting in India was never going to be a problem.
Was he apprehensive at any point? Did you have to convince him?
Not really. In fact, just told him you're opening. But for me, the biggest shift in his batting was England this summer. I remember telling him, I said, Rohit, the way you're batting here, I think it was after the test match we lost in Headingley. He got 59. Beautiful batting, you know, leaving. Even in the first innings, he was batting well. He was prepared to do the stuff what people never expected Rohit Sharma to do. That is to graft, to grind, to leave. But even when he was doing that, he looked the most elegant.
Beautiful.
As opposed to a lot of other players. And then his 100 at the Oval, I think he'll say is probably his best innings. If you ask him about his top 3 innings, white ball or red ball, I think he'll put that one up top of the tree. And the way he was going at Lords. So, that transition has come.
How big a luxury was it for you to have 2 such fine leaders, both part of the same team? Because when Rohit captained, we won that Asia Cup after, I think, 10 years in the 50-over format. He was always there. Then there was Virat. So having the 2 of them in the same side, obviously only one can have the captain's tag, but just to have 2 of the finest minds.
Terrific. Very good. See, because when you look at the 2 and compare their captaincy, it reminds me of Sunny and Kapil. Kapil, the more Virat-like, spontaneous, instinctive, goes with the gut feeling. Rohit, more like Gavaskar, calculated, extremely efficient mind, very calculated, very calm and composed. I don't think the team really worried about too much what was on the outside. Really, to be honest, I'm not saying because I'm sitting here. Not really. They were professionals.
Virat first opting out of T20, but now with the decision that Rohit is going to be in charge of all white ball, do you think that sort of division works best? All white ball for one captain and one captain for the red ball format?
I think it's the right way to go. And this could be a blessing in disguise for Virat and for Rohit, because I don't think in this era, if the bubble life exists for another year or so, one guy to handle all 3 is not easy at all. It's all not easy at all. I honestly feel inside that it could be a blessing in disguise for Virat, because he can go back, focus on the red ball. There is no problem there. He should lead for as long as he wants to lead, because what he brings on the field, that energy, very few captains can do in Test match cricket. So, he'll be there, but it'll allow him just to sit back a bit, reflect a little more on his game, because he's got a good 5-6 years left. And I think he's 1 innings away, to be honest.